Every man who came to marry her ran the moment they saw her face. Once upon a time, in a quiet royal kingdom hidden far from the noise of war and the warmth of love, there lived a princess named Zara. But people didn't remember her for her crown or grace. They remembered her for the scar. 10 years earlier, when Zara was just a little girl, a devastating fire broke out in the palace at midnight. The flames first swallowed the nursery, where her baby sister slept soundly. Panic filled the air. Screams echoed in the corridors. But no one moved. No one. Except Zara. Barefoot and frightened, Zara ran straight into the blaze. She pushed through the smoke, kicked open the nursery door with her shoulder, wrapped her sister in trembling arms and stumbled back out, coughing, burning, her face melted by the fire. Still, she whispered to her crying sister, "You're safe now. I'm here." And that moment became the beginning of her suffering. Zara was born into royalty. Silk sheets, golden spoons, marble floors, she had it all. But after the fire, she never felt beautiful again. Her once radiant skin turned to patches. Her eyebrows vanished. Her lips twisted on one side. Her face, once admired, was now the face people turned away from. She didn't cry anymore. The years had dried her tears, but every time she passed a mirror, she'd look away, ashamed of the reflection that haunted her. When she turned 22, suitors began arriving. The first came from the east, a tall, proud prince adorned with gold chains. He laughed charmingly, until he saw her. Then, silence. "I'm sorry," he said, stunned. "I wasn't told she was—" He never finished his sentence. He just left. The next suitor brought gifts of gold, but the moment he laid eyes on her, he turned back with his family. "No one told me she looked like that," he said, horrified. "The third," he laughed. "The fourth," he didn't even enter. From the hallway, he whispered, "They want to trick me with a monster," and fled. By the seventh suitor, Zara had stopped trying. She no longer combed her hair. Her voice grew quiet. Her eyes dimmed. She told her mother softly, "Please, no more princes. Let them go. I am not what they want." But worse than the rejection of strangers was the wound from home. One day, her younger sister Jasmine, the very child Zara saved from the fire, invited her rich, glamorous friends from the capital. They filled the palace with music, laughter, and the clinking of wine glasses. In a quiet corner, Zara sat, silent, unnoticed, until one of the girls pointed and asked aloud, "Who is she?" "That one sitting like a statue." "What happened to her face?" Jasmine panicked, embarrassed. She quickly replied, "Oh, she's our house. Help, she's very shy. Ignore her." Zara froze. She rose slowly, stepped into the center of the room. Her voice trembled. "House help? Me?" The girls giggled. Zara removed her scarf, her scarred face in full view. Silence fell. "This face, this scar. This is why you're still alive," she said. "When the fire came for you, I didn't think twice. I didn't care what it would do to me. I saved you. And the fire took my beauty, so you could live." She stepped closer. "And now, you're ashamed of me." Jasmine said nothing. Her eyes fixed to the floor. Tears welled in Zara's eyes. "You think beauty is skin deep?" "One day, Jasmine, you'll look for a heart like mine, and you won't find it." Zara turned and left. The music died. No one danced. Jasmine stood frozen in shame. Only 2 people in the world had ever loved Zara without fear or pity, her mother and father. They still called her "my sunshine," still held her hand, still kissed her cheeks. So, when Zara told them she wanted to leave the palace, to live somewhere quiet, far away where no one knew her face, they said no. Not once, not twice, but again and again. until one day Zara knelt, pleaded, "Mama, I need to breathe. I need to live where I'm not seen as punishment." Her father wiped his tears. Her mother hugged her tightly. Finally, they let her go, but only after she made a promise that she would write to them every week, that she would never forget she was still a princess with a warrior's heart. One early morning, before the palace gates opened, Zara quietly packed a small bag, a few simple dresses, one scarf, and her old diary. She left a note on her pillow. "I love you, Mommy and Daddy." Then she disappeared. That's how Princess Zara vanished from the royal palace. The sun rose gently over the small village of Umudu, a place of early morning sweeping, cooking, and gossip. Zara arrived with nothing but hope in her heart. She wore a plain brown gown, her face covered with a soft scarf. No makeup, no crown, no jewelry, just silence. She greeted the first woman she saw at the market. "Good morning, Ma." The woman stared, then leaned to another and whispered, "Did you see her face?" "God forbid." The other replied, "Is it sickness or punishment?" Zara found a job at the local secondary school as a teacher. She loved children. She believed if she gave them love, they'd look at her heart, not her scars. But children can be cruel, very cruel. On her first day, as she stepped into class, a boy screamed, "Ghost!" Laughter exploded. A girl whispered, "I heard she hides her scary face." Another said, "She'll give us nightmares." Zara said nothing. She picked up the chalk, wrote her name calmly on the board, and began to teach. She tried to live like everyone else. She fetched water. She swept her compound. She greeted her neighbors. But whispers followed her everywhere. At the stream, a woman muttered, "Cover your face well, oh, don't spoil the water." At the shop, the owner warned his son, "Don't take money from her hand. You don't know what spirit lives in that scar." One day, she walked past a group of boys. They shouted, "Scarf Queen, where's your other ear?" Laughter again. Zara looked up at the sky, and something inside her shifted. The next morning, she entered her classroom and found a letter on her desk. Neat, folded, delicate handwriting. She opened it. "You have the softest heart I've ever seen. I watch how you smile, even when they laugh. How you teach like nothing hurts. But I see you. I would like to know you, if you'll let me." Signed with just a letter. J. Zara froze. Only one person at the school had a name that started with J. Mr. Jide, the new English teacher, young, kind, and the only one who ever said good morning without flinching. Her heart pounded. The next day, another letter came, then another, and another. Each note, kind, respectful, gentle. Zara's steps became lighter. She brushed her hair. She wore earrings. For the first time in years, she smiled freely. And for the first time in her life, she began to hope. Then came a note that said, "Please, let me see you. Meet me under the big mango tree after school." Zara blushed. She wore her nicest gown. Used perfume, just a little. Wore her silver bangle. She waited under the tree, heart racing. Then, laughter, footsteps. A group of students appeared. One shouted, "Ha! She really came. She thought it was Uncle Jide." Another laughed, "She wore perfume. See her." A third mocked, "Monster alert." Zara looked around. No one to stop them. No one to save her. She turned and walked away. Tears soaked her scarf. That night, Zara didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't change her clothes. She dropped to the floor. The letters, once precious, now crumbled in her hand and scattered like dead leaves. And for the first time in years, she cried. Not quiet tears, but sobs that shook her whole body. God, why me? She whispered. Why did you save me from that fire only to let the world burn me every day? She looked at the ceiling. Since I was 10, they've mocked me, feared me, hated me. What did I do wrong? She crawled to the wall, hugged her knees, shaking, sobbing. When will it end? When will someone see? Me. The wind blew harder. The candle flickered. Then it went out. Zara was alone in the dark, but the next morning, swollen eyes and trembling hands, she still came to school. No smile. No spark. And then she saw him, Mr. Jide, walking toward her. His eyes gentle, his voice confused. He raised his hand. Zara. Good morning. I've been looking for you. I wanted to… Zara's palm landed hard on his cheek. Everyone turned. Silence fell. Even the birds seemed to pause. Zara started shaking, her voice breaking as she whispered, If this is your second joke, your next round of laughter, just stop, please. Mr. Jide froze. He blinked slowly, then asked softly, What are you talking about? Zara didn't answer. She turned and walked away, her scarf soaked from the inside. That night she didn't cry, but sleep wouldn't come. All she could see was his face, not the students laughing, just him. Mr. Jide, confused, hurt, surprised. She told herself, he didn't laugh. He didn't even know he wasn't there. Suddenly, her heart raced as she sat up. What if he wasn't part of it at all? She paced the room, clutching her head. What if I slapped the only person who's ever been kind to me? The next morning, Zara wore her plainest clothes and knocked softly on the staff room door. He looked up. Their eyes met. She stepped in, closing the door behind her, and spoke first, nervously, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that yesterday. Mr. Jide remained still, staring quietly. I thought you were part of what happened under the tree. The letters, the students. I thought it was all your idea. I was embarrassed, broken, and I was wrong. She turned to leave, shame weighing heavy on her shoulders. But he stood up and said softly, Seriously, what did you just say? She paused, then whispered, I'm sorry. He stepped closer. No, everything before that. Tell me what happened. And she did. From the first letter to the tree, the laughter, the slap, everything. Within minutes, Mr. Jide marched straight to the classroom. The students were no longer laughing. His face was hard, his voice sharp. Do you think this is funny? To humiliate someone who walks through pain with more courage than all of you combined? One by one, the students confessed. Names poured out. Whispers of apology began. But he wasn't finished. You will write apology letters to Miss Zara. You will clean the compound for 2 weeks. Every parent of every child involved will be summoned. There was no smile on his face, no laughter in the air. The next day, Zara sat beneath a quiet mango tree behind the school, alone during her break. Her file lay on her lap. Her scarf covered most of her face. She didn't hear him approach until she felt the warmth of his presence. Beside her, I meant what I said, Zara, Mr. Jide whispered. She looked at him, unsure. I didn't write the letter, he continued, but I wish I had, because I've been watching you, not with pity, but with admiration. Zara blinked quickly. But look at me. I see strength. I see grace. I see a woman who doesn't hide even when the world tells her to. She couldn't speak. He gently handed her a folded paper. This one is from me. She opened it slowly. Inside, one line written in careful, honest script. Let me walk with you through the rain. Zara looked up, trembling. I'm not asking for anything fast, he said softly. Just a chance to walk beside you, as a friend, as a lover. Her lips curled into the softest smile she had worn in years. Okay, she whispered. I have been liking you too, for so long." The school bell rang for the last time that term, but this time there was no joy in the students' eyes. Instead, there was fear. The laughter that once filled the compound was replaced with whispers and bowed heads. The principal stood before the whole school with a firm voice. "To every student involved in the incident with Miss Zara, do not return next term without your parents. You are officially suspended until further notice." Gasps spread across the crowd. The school closed for the season, and for once, Zara didn't feel like locking herself in her room. Every morning, Mr. Jide would show up by the small garden outside her rented home, sometimes with fruit, sometimes with flowers, sometimes with nothing but a smile. They talked, walked, and laughed. He never once asked about her scar. He never stared too long. When she asked him why, he simply said, "I see your eyes first. That's where the real beauty hides." Her heart melted a little more every day. One cool evening, with birds singing and orange skies stretching wide, Mr. Jide said gently, "I want you to meet someone." "My mother." Zara froze. Her heart jumped. No one had ever introduced her like this, proudly. Still, she nodded. The house was small, clean, and peaceful, with white lace curtains and the smell of fresh stew. A woman with soft brown skin, a neatly wrapped anchor-head tie, and a gentle smile stepped out. She looked at Zara for a long moment, then walked up and hugged her. "You are welcome, my daughter," she said warmly. Zara stood frozen, eyes wide. She tried to speak, but no words came. "You're beautiful," the woman whispered, still holding her close. "And any friend my son brings home is already loved." Tears slipped down Zara's cheek. No one, not even some family members, had ever said those words to her. She blinked quickly and looked away, hiding her face. But the woman gently turned her back. "You don't have to hide anything here. This is a house of peace." Zara's voice cracked. "You don't know who I am. You're the girl my son chose." Zara broke down in her arms. That evening, after dinner, laughter filled the warm, peaceful home. Zara and Mr. Jide sat outside under a quiet sky. The stars had come out, scattered like secrets across the heavens. A gentle breeze passed, and the world seemed to pause. Zara looked up, then at him. "Can I tell you something?" she whispered. Jide nodded, gently reaching out to hold her hand. She took a breath, then another, and slowly removed her scarf, revealing the full mark twisting across one side of her face. Her voice trembled, but she didn't stop. "I got this scar when I was 10. Our house caught fire and my younger sister was inside. Everyone was screaming, too afraid to go in. I didn't think. I just ran." She paused, staring into the dark. "I saved her. I pulled her out with my bare hands. But the fire got me instead. My face. It changed everything." Mr. Jide's grip tightened softly. Zara looked down. "You'd think saving someone would make you a hero. But no. People ran from me. Suitors turned away the moment they saw me. Even my sister, the one I saved, lied to her friends, calling me the maid. She said I was just a helper living with them." Her eyes welled up. I confronted her. I reminded her that this scar is the reason she's still alive and beautiful today. But she just laughed with her friends. That day, I went to my room and cried. For hours. Mr. Jide's chest rose and fell. His eyes were glassy. Zara's voice broke as she continued. "I gave up on myself. I stopped hoping for love. Until you." She turned to him, voice trembling. "I don't even know how to love you more, Jide. You came when I was nothing but ashes inside, and every day you've given me water, light, laughter." There was silence. Then, Mr. Jide slowly got up and knelt before her. Zara gasped. His voice was steady, rich with emotion. "Zara, I'm so sorry I wasn't there during your pain. To fight with you, to wipe those tears. But I'm here now, and I want to stay." He reached. into his pocket and pulled out a small, simple box. Inside was a delicate ring that shimmered under the moonlight. "Will you be my wife? Will you let me be the one who walks beside you, not in pity, but in honor? I will be the happiest, most grateful man alive if you say yes." Zara covered her mouth. Then her whole body began to shake with sobs. She screamed, a roar of surprise and overwhelming emotion that echoed into the night, then burst into tears. "Yes, yes, Jide, yes." She fell into his arms, crying loudly, holding him like her life depended on it, and he held her back like he'd been waiting all his life for that very moment. "Now it's time," he whispered. As they traveled in an 18-seater bus approaching Grand Golden Gates, Mr. Jide adjusted his clothes, eyes wide. "This place, it looks like a palace," he whispered. Zara smiled. "Zara, do your parents work here?" She laughed gently, holding his hand. "My love, this is my home. This is my parents' kingdom. I am the first daughter of the king and queen. One day, I will rule this land, and I want you by my side." Jide's voice caught. "You're a princess," Zara nodded. "Not just a scar. I was born to lead. But first, I had to lose everything to find peace." Overwhelmed, Jide dropped to one knee. "Then let me walk with you. I promise to always love you, my future queen." He smiled, surprised. "So, I'm going to be a husband to a queen." She pulled him up and embraced him tight.